Hey everyone, it's Tuesday, which means it's bike day, and of course we've got Mr. Marley with us as always.
G'day.
With us in body, if not in mind.
He was doing lunges during that, did he?
I was warming up.
Entrance.
Yeah, that's I stopped short of star jumps, but I was doing the old stretch and sort of like doing that stuff. Yeah,
I was replying to my daughter. How are we today?
all right. I managed to work out how to bloody get on this thing, so that's all right.
Still took you 4 tries though, apparently.
It did, yeah, I did 4 tries, but I got there. Bloody Facebook.
Yeah.
What can I say?
I had a text message yesterday off my mother-in-law,
Right.
saying to me, just to let you know, there's going to be a parcel arriving for you tomorrow. I said, okay, but why? And she went, because it's off Morgan for Father's Day. And it arrived about half an hour before we came on here.
Yeah. Big box.
Wow.
I don't know
Nice.
what it is. I have my suspicions, but that got thrown out the window when it came up wrapped in tape from Gauge Master, which is a train modelling shop.
So not Ann Summers.
No. Full enough, no. Not for my mother-in-law.
I had to Google that because we don't have that chain here. We've got other things like Sexy Land and other things.
Of course, you'd know that, John.
I drive past them occasionally and just sort of go, yeah. There's another one they call. I think there's another one up here. I can't remember the name of it. I'm gonna have to Google it.
Your search history is going to be brilliant.
You just don't know Bronzy your history.
Okay. Incognito, right?
It's the new Airfix Spitfire Mark 1 kit from Airfix.
Oh.
She
cool
just
is that?
Yeah.
So it is what you thought it was going to be. She's just wrapped it in a different box.
Yeah. Well, she ordered it from a different company. How cool. Well, thank you very much, mother-in-law. And Morgan, obviously.
Naughty and nice. N-A-U-T-I.
They actually do other ones. They do like planes, helicopters, ships, stuff for space. We just had a quick look there.
Do you want to have a look what's in the box?
Go on then.
It's better than looking at my ugly mug anyway.
I'm just going to sit here and drink my cup of tea.
Lovely cover art, that.
It is, isn't it?
Put your hand. So.
There you go. It's going to be a decent size. No flash on it, which is good. It's even got a little pilot with it.
Ah.
Oh, hang on. It's even got the bloody rivet details on the frame. The fuselage. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Very cool.
Really lovely. Freckles.
794. Right.
And of course, shall be going for the Battle of Britain scheme.
Of course.
Which isn't on either of them because they're the alternatives. There it is. 1938. The one thing that I don't like at Airfix kits in a minute is they're making the box slightly too narrow for the instructions, so the instructions have to be folded over.
Yeah.
That annoys me a bit because you can't get the book to sit flat.
Stick it between 2 towels and iron it.
Yeah.
Or buy bigger Airfix kits.
That is very cool. Plenty of nice detail in it.
Mm.
All right. I'm just comparing.
Thank you very much, Moggy.
Oh, there we go.
That's Albert.
Okay.
Albert.
Yeah. So I've got an older version of their Mark One. It's the one I did for the 48 and 48. Yeah. Although mine has a pilot, it's different size sprues and the instructions are a lot simpler and everything else because it's whatever year it was. Don't know. 2006.
Yeah.
So, and it's a different serial number of the decals as well. So, yeah, that's a nicer kit. It does look like, they've re-engineered it. It's not just a re-release. So, well done, Airfix. Yeah. It'll go together well. That box art, I mean, it is nicer than that as well, isn't it? They've come a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it belongs in sort of a CGI film, doesn't it? The detail in it.
Yeah, the light showing off the clouds, the way they do that with all computer animation and what do they call it now? Computer rendering.
If I zoom in, they've even got the rivet detail on the panels. Well, you can't really see it, but it's even got the rivets going around there. Bit fuzzy on this. Might be because I need to do that rather than. Yeah, there you go. All the rivets around there.
Yeah, you can actually just about see them.
Very cool.
Can you do me a favor before we move on? Can you get the instructions out again? Show me the Battle of Britain one.
Yep. Well, it's 1938 one.
Yeah. Right, because I'll change my camera.
19 Squadron, Duxford.
Yeah, as is this one. Wrong. This one. There we go. So, just looking at the.
Oh, they're different.
They are. No, the scheme's back to front. If you look.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and that's correct because this one has an odd number. This is K9 K9795, and yours is K9794.
Yeah.
So yours has the A scheme, mine has the B scheme, so that's correct as well.
Nice.
Again, well done, Airfix.
Yeah. I'm really impressed with it. They've certainly come on leaps and bounds in the last year or two, haven't they?
Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't get anything for Father's Day.
Well, that's because you don't have Father's Day.
Correct. Father's Day is September here. So that's okay.
Cool. Right. I was really busy before the stream because I was having a conversation with modders. I was emailing one of the judges. I'm not going to say who for the competition. I've sent the entries off to them. And I was also talking to my daughter at the same time on the phone. So, yeah, I've not had a chance to get anything out or take my medication. So, 2 seconds. You two can.
Cool. Right. So if you've tuned in for this session in the last couple of weeks, you'll probably notice that I'm not building a bike. I'm just hanging out with my friends because I could do that. So I'm going to continue working on the Victor.
You're just here for the
70
ride.
seconds girl. Just here for the I don't know, thumbs up or whatever you want to call it. The S's and G's. Cool. All right. I reckon I'm going to be just doing my intakes today, trying to get the seams out of them and stuff. See how that goes.
I'll have to find my lighter. There it is. What you doing, Cat?
I just sent my mother-in-law a picture of the kit. I said, "You're a bugger." She went, "Belated Happy Father's Day, haha."
Well, yeah, you would have known straight away if it was from Airfit.
Well, yeah. That threw me a little bit. I'll go through the chat and then I need to take my tablet. But I'll go through it quickly, Modders, while she's doing modelling.
Okay.
Darren's give himself a gold medal.
Nice.
Because he's first. Well done, Darren. Bob says, seems awfully quiet this late in the run-up to chaos. It was, wasn't it? And then all of a sudden it just went crazy.
Yeah, that was just me and Bob.
Oh, so I've got you to blame for this.
Yes.
Tiff says it normally is on a Tuesday. Bob says, and a preempted good morrow to all. Tiff says, morning, Bob. Bob says, especially milady Tiff. Bob says, oh, notification of delivery. Door run time. Tiff says, more Strand Beast, Bob. Tiff says, good morning to anyone else that joins us. Please do hit the lube button on your way in. It's much appreciated. Thank you. Dieter says, greetings from down the road. Hello, Dieter. Speaking of which, do we want an extra live stream next Sunday? Because if you remember the competition, we said that little Nia is going to be doing her own little judging bit.
Oh, yeah.
But she can only do it next weekend. So, well, we can either do it an extra one Friday evening or an extra one Saturday. Might be better doing it Saturday or Sunday. So that she can do her judge bit. And whoever she picks will get a sticker designed specially by me and Nia for the competition. All the entries are already in, so she's going to be picking from those entries. Except for my own, obviously, because that just wouldn't be fair. Tiff says, hello, Dieter. Bob says, not another beast, 6th tank to try armor on. Tamir 135th Churchill Mark 7, unpacking supervised by Parrot. It's a good kit, that. The Tamir 135 Churchill. Not that John would know, because John hasn't bought it yet.
Nope.
Tiff says, sounds good, Bob. Not a big fan of armor myself. I prefer cars and such.
I need to step away for a moment. I need to grab some water to do this. Back in a sec.
Rebbe. Right. Bob says, hail to the Belgium entry for the Europlastic kit contest. GM says, good morning, Tiff, Bobby, and Hagrid. Good morning to everyone else joining in. Should I comment on Bobby's incoming Strange Beasts or leave alone? Bob says, never done armor, so I thought I'd try it. And he says, Strand Beasts, one in Guangdong, one in and Garou. I don't know where that is. Gary says, "Oh, careful, Bobby. That's also a slippery hill to play on. I have a few Centurion tanks, trucks, and such. So many kits, so little time. Ha 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 ha." But I can imagine GM doing that in a I don't know, kind of sinister laugh. So, with his fingers pressed together like Mr. Burns.
Yes.
Bob says, "Too many kits here. Just boxed 8 for M4H. Just got to get better enough for up the hill to the post office." Bloody hell. They'll appreciate that, mate. Well done. Thank you. On behalf of beneficiaries of M4H, such as myself. Not that I talk to him more than anything now. Bob says, "Today's chattiness brought to you by painkillers and mostly settled stomach. Yuckiness over for now." Yeah.
That's good.
Seems to be going around that. Ian says, "Hi, Tiff and the others." Damn you, Ian.
Hi, Ian.
Bob says, and the big question is, has Tiff recovered from equally nastiness? Nastiness. Tiff says, "I'm negative, but I'm still coughing." You've always seemed quite positive to me. So I think I'll have some ongoing issues from it this time.
Yeah. On my chest, definitely. My lungs.
Yeah. Bob says, "Not good. I managed to escape all infections. Don't know if my cocktail of drugs acted as immunity. Most likely."
Probably.
GM says, "Sorry to hear this, Tiff. I hope things improve for you soon."
Thank you.
David says, "Morning, afternoon, evening all, and good morning, Tiff. Yes, it may take a while for the cough to go away." GM says, "Hello, David. Hello, everyone else joining in here. I see what you're doing." David says, "Hi, GM. How's the weather down with you? It's a little dull and chilly here, though. Dry at the moment." Do you know what? It's actually pretty sunny here today. It's nice and cool, though. I think.
Oh, it's not here.
I don't know, actually. The window's shut and I've got the fan on, so that could be why it's cool.
It's 19 degrees.
Well, I've got the fan on in here and it's 23 degrees. So it's not too bad. GM says, "Hi, David. It's been clear but cold breeze. Was out last night filming the mountains in -5. Filming animals in the dark, as you do." Nice. Tim says, "Bike time." I can just imagine Tim in a Hell's Angels outfit or something. June says, "Morning all. I'll be in once. I've rescued tragedy to mere disaster and managed to get the airbrush cleaned. Wish me luck." Good luck, Julian.
Yes, much luck.
David says, "Laugh out loud. That's a little cold there then. Did the animals oblige for the filming though?" Well, they didn't have much choice. They were probably frozen. You can just imagine Scrat sat there frozen on the grass, unable to move. And David there, Gary there, taking photos of him. For those that don't know who Scrat is, he is the saber-toothed squirrel in Ice Age, the movie. Tiff says, "Bear with us, folks." I thought I said Bonadar then for some reason. Boss is making a brew. Yes. Catching up with myself, which I still haven't done. He says, "Can't get the staff." Laugh out loud. It's not my fault. I was getting pulled in like 5 different directions and I was trying to keep up with all of them.
I'm back.
Yeah. The channel wasn't the same without you. GM says, "David, yes, actually a refilm. A follow-up from 5 years ago with BBC Planet." Ooh. Bob says, "Julian, I hope you have better luck than I did recently. 3 goes to set the needle properly, then found a lot of the paint on my trousers." Oh. Ooh. Are you sure it was paint? If it was white, it might not have been. Kevin says, "Good day, everyone." Hello, Kevin. In other words, you could have drooled or something.
Kevin. Oh, right.
With all the medication.
Backpedal.
Yeah, John. I know where your mind was going, boy.
Oh.
It looks like you're making a Star Wars speeder or something.
Yeah, well, probably.
Yeah. Jim says,
Yeah.
greetings to all in Chatland. And hello to all on screen.
Hello.
Hello. David says, morning, Mikey, John, and Tiff. Hello, and good morning. Well, afternoon.
Afternoon.
David says, wow. Jim, Mr. Marley, were you stretching like the Aussie cricket player? I forgot his name. Duke Wellington would know.
Merv Hughes, yes, I was.
Yeah.
Although not as stylish.
GM says, it's a strange beast, Mikey. Don't know whether to take that as a compliment or not. Ian says, everything I bought from Gauge Master have been Revel kits on sale. Ah. David says, seen some nice reviews on that kit. Yeah, it looks a nice kit. I'm going to enjoy building it. It's going to go nicely with my Mark 9, Mark 5 and Mark 9 and Mark 14.
It will. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. So I've got the major Spitfires done, I think. Ian says, yep, very nice, Morgan. And Gary says, I have the same kit as John. It arrived with clear canopies for a multitude of versions. There we go.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
June says, scowl. That's my day sorted then. Trying to get the effing cup off the airbrush as air goes through, but F fall from the paint cup. That means you've got a blockage in the nozzle, usually. Because the air doesn't go through the nozzle that the paint goes through. Oh, other way around. Yeah. Kieran says, afternoon all.
Afternoon.
David says, sounds good, that Mikey. Bob says, flat aluminium, trying to do Virago engine. Another go later this PM. Sounds like a plan. David says, app says it's only 18 degrees here. Ooh, I don't know what it is here. I haven't looked. I haven't had time. Julie says, good afternoon. Oh, needy hirsute one. Tiff, and good evening, John. Hey, don't pick on me.
Needy pursuit one.
Pick on me. It's not fair. Oh, I did a Marley last week. I realised after the live I've done a Marley. Yeah.
Oh.
You see these bits here that hold the shocks together?
Yeah.
I went to put it on the bike. The problem is, I thought I put the mudguard on the wrong way. I hadn't. I put them on the wrong way.
Happens to the best of us.
I had to try and unglue them, but one of them broke, but it seems to have reset now. And put them on the right way. So, yeah. Because they slot on. So, when you're ungluing them, the shocks tend to come apart.
Mm-hmm.
So, yay. I done a Marley for once. So, that's fun.
I don't think I've done a Marley yet.
Give it time.
I'm hoping I never do a Marley. I keep my fingers crossed.
Oh, you will. You will. It's like you're going to do a Morris at some point and stick a drill bit into your finger or scalpel.
Well, I've done that before.
I haven't watched that back yet. I need to do that. And laugh and laugh.
Right, I'm just going to take my tablets. 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I will get to modelling at some point in this show, I promise.
We're going to have a massive influx of chat now.
Of course.
What was that?
It says we'll probably end up with a massive influx of chat now.
Kind of. There's only 3, I think, so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I'm so behind is because I was in. I didn't get home from the hospital until 6 o'clock this morning. So I went home, got home, went to bed, and then had a few hours sleep before the live stream. And then I'm just trying to catch up with myself.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't planning on being outside the hospital till 6 o'clock in the morning.
To be fair, I don't think poor Kay was planning on being in hospital at that time.
No. She absolutely was not.
Glad she's okay now, though.
Yeah, she's upstairs resting now. Blessed. Tablet sorted. Nearly missed my mouth with them, though.
How?
I knew you were going to say that. Apparently, I nearly get a bit of sprue as well. Julie says, "Oh, paint cup is off. Now trying to clear the effing blockage." GM says, "David filming wombats running about in rough country. These things are remarkably quick. Run out of breath trying to keep up." That just sounds so funny. These little fat wombats just running around. David like trying to chase around after them all night.
Oh, they're not little. They're a good size.
Bob says, "Lost track of days. When does Waitrose return for beast distribution?" Not next week. The week after. Yeah. They've only had still on their first week, so they've got another week or so yet. Bob says, "Resistance is not futile. I will not take up eBay special offer." Jim says, "Julian, the fun and games of airbrush maintenance." Yeah, that's why I clean my airbrush after every colour.
Yeah, I think that's something I'd do as well.
Yeah, it depends what I'm doing. Like, you know, I'm very happy to swap from color to color as long as it's the same brand paint. If I swap brands, then
Yeah.
I give it a strip down, clean out. But you know, if I'm in the vibe and just going from, you know, say a brown to a green, I just give it a purge, crack on.
Yeah. See, I don't, because I don't like the idea of contaminating colours because I'm colourblind. I struggle, especially with greens and stuff. I struggle with telling if they're contaminated and gone off colour or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of try and make
fair.
sure that I don't do that. Yeah.
Okay, now let that dry.
GM says, "Mikey, I was commenting on your mystery box arrival, a surprise box from Bob." Oh, No, it's from my mother-in-law. Well, from Morgan, my stepson. He's a good egg.
Ow.
Oh, the seat's coming off. Ooh. That's unexpected.
Mm.
Right. I can hopefully, put that on there. Oh my God. Now that I put it on the right way, it just slots on. How wonderful. I need a screwdriver now. Damn it. Should have remembered that. Stupid. Oh, I can't get my screwdriver door open. What's going on?
Screwed shut.
Oh, fiddlesticks. Oh, you were stuck, that's why. That I can do elsewhere. Oh. Straight.
You know what? I could either proceed with the main undercarriage bays or the air brake. I don't know which way to go.
Good question, Mr. Marley. So what is it you're making? A Victor B2.
It's a Victor B2 BS, as in blue steel.
Not bullshit then.
No. So this came out as a K2, which is the tanker, which has a separate
Yes.
a separate sprue. So yeah, the extra sprue that comes with this one is that. So it's the blue steel missile and the Abro blue steel. The holder for it, which replaces the bomb bay doors. It says I should say it. So
Yeah.
leaning down. Right. So they're the bomb bay doors there. Or that bit.
I was watching
Now,
a YouTube documentary about the V bombers.
Yeah.
The other day.
It's fascinating.
There's one that was originally done by the BBC back in the 70s.
But what you can't do with this one is a conventional bomber. So they had the B1, which is a conventional bomber. I can't remember how many. I think it was carried. 28,000-pound bombs or 5,000-pound bombs. It's huge bomb bay. Going here, but you can't do this one as a B2 without the blue steel. It's a shame. So at the moment, you can either get the K2 kit where it's got all the innards to do the conventional tanker.
Yes.
The B2 blue steel, this one, and that's sort of all. But with the Valiant, you get the option of doing the nuclear bomber, the one that dropped the first hydrogen bomb that's now at Cosford. Or you can do the recon version of that where it's got all camera lenses instead of the bomb bay doors. And with the Victor, the Vulcan, you have a choice of doing a conventional bomber or the blue steel. And I chose to do conventional for that. So all three will be different. One will be carrying a nuke, one will be carrying a blue steel, and one will be carrying just normal bombs. So that's okay.
Yeah. The one thing they were saying was the reason why the Victor and the Vulcan had blue steel. And apparently it's because the American government changed just because it was originally intended that they would have the most modern nuclear bomb, which was one made by the Americans. But at the last minute, just as they were about to, start putting them on or start making them for the RAF, the American government changed, and the new government decided that they didn't, even though most of the reason why the Americans were able to make the nuclear bombs was because of the British done a lot of the early legwork for it.
Yeah.
They decided that they didn't want to share too much much more information with the British. So on that topic, so my legs just started bleeding. So they cancelled the contract. So the British were just left with the blue steel. Oh, my leg's bleeding.
How you managed
Couldn't
that?
happen to a nicer bloke.
I cut my leg the other day, and I must have just knocked a scab or something off it. I just noticed because my leg was itching, and then when I put my hand on it, it just came away with blood. I was like, oops. Wet one. Can't have blood-covered hands on YouTube. They don't like it. It's a bit unseemly. Doesn't look very good, does it?
Yeah.
There we go. Hopefully that'll dry off.
Yeah, I think from memory it was a Skybolt missile that you're talking about. The Vulcan would carry one under each wing. And it couldn't carry them in the bomb bay because they're navigated by the stars. So they had to be the leading edges had to be forward of the wing so it can track the stars. And then it was cancelled. But all the blue steel work was done in Woomera down South Australia. Remarkable failure, really. A lot of money. Didn't work so well.
Tim says, not little. Well, that's why they were trying to go to the American one, weren't they?
Tim
says, not little Mikey, almost 40 kilos and touch over a meter long. Seen many sedans get total hitting one of those little fur tanks. They sound like cool animals.
They're solid. Yeah, they resemble their poos. Like, you're probably aware that they're little blocks of poo just sat there. They're square. Yeah, they're cubes. But so are the wombats. So it's the only animal that I know that looks a lot like its other type of offspring.
It's droppings.
Yeah.
June says, I'm dyslexic of the Borg. Resistance is fertile. Your ass is laminated. Very good, Julian. Bob says, the PCB factory I worked in had a colourblind bloke in a photographic department. Luckily, we only dealt in brown and white.
Yeah.
My uncle works in a PCB factory. Wow. Company that makes them. They made the circuit boards for the Klansman radios and things. I don't know what they make now, obviously. They do, but they do government contracts and stuff.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting because I did work experience there when I was in sixth form. Jim says, when in the midst of a painting session, I run thinner through the airbrush between colours and crack on to the next one. After all is done, then I clean it out thoroughly. Never had a problem. Yeah, I do, because I think with me it's one, worry about contamination, and two, because I just find it therapeutic to sit there cleaning, stripping it down and cleaning it. Jim says, A laminated ass sounds a wee painful. Yeah. Bob says dyslexia rules KO. Jim says, Viz the airbrush. It was clean after the last use, clogged immediately this time. You might be having your paint a bit thick then, mate. Especially if you're using Humbrolls. Jim says, Julian, how thin do you cut the paint? I start with a 60-40 mix, thinner and paint respectively. Then I go from there. See, this is why I use Vallejo, because half the time you don't have to even thin them. Bob says, Julian, I cheated a while back. I bought a pack of 10 cheap airbrushes. Sorry, go
on. Even I find
on,
the airbrush one, like the Vallejo Air, it's thin enough that you wouldn't need to thin it much more.
Yeah. Bob says, I cheated a while back. I bought a pack of 10 cheap airbrushes. Only used 2 so far. Put different needle combos in each. There we go. Bob says, giving a couple to stepdaughter's husband, a couple to her as well. Only 4 left now.
Wow. Talk about airbrushes or strand beasts.
Yeah. Jim says, the B1 was originally intended as a supersonic aircraft. Carter administration cancelled the project. Reagan brought it back as a supersonic aircraft in the early 80s.
Yeah, that's right. Which is why it's just a B1B now.
Yeah. Bob says, yes, I bulk bought again. Jim says, Bob, I have 5 airbrushes, 4 double action and 1 single action. Different needles in each airbrush for various tasks. That's just far too organised, Jim. I just have 1 airbrush that I use. I'll have the Neo one, and then I've got a Fender set, but I haven't even used the Fender set yet. I just use the Neos with the 0.35 nib. But I might start using now that I'm getting better at airbrushing, I might use the Fender for doing detail work. Because that comes with a 0.25. Jim says, GB Models, hey GB. Oh, there you go. GB Models says, hello guys, how are you all doing in chat? I think they're doing well. A little bit crazy, but well. GM says, Bobby, disposable airbrushes. Why not? Or why? Jim, GB Models, I saw your video on the model show. From the model show, great stuff. GB Model says, thanks, Jim, for watching my video. I appreciate it. Bob says, Gary, didn't know if I could get on with them. Never tried before. Was prepared to use a few as darts when doing throwing frustration. When frustrated, basically. Hey, why not? Better than spending a lot of money on something you might not enjoy doing. Because that's just silly talk. You put first time you put frustration, then you put frustrating, and now he's put for fuck's sake frustration. There we go. Got there in the end.
Awesome.
The bike stands up on its own now, by the way. Yay.
Huzzah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Mine doesn't even have a front wheel on
it. Well, mine did when it was standing on its frame. On its wheels now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I already
easiest
put
way to do this. Let's have a look.
The stand on.
Yeah, I've put the kickstand on. So let's have a look. What's the easiest way to do this? Lights and headstock. There you go. Right. I think the easiest way is going to be Do side lights first. So I'll mark these off with a pencil. Do that one first. Do that second. That third. Fourth. Fifth. That makes sense to me. Side lights. Front lights. Dials. Yeah, makes sense to me. GM says, "Oh dear, Bobby, do I laugh or cry?" Jim says, "In my experience, the only paint in my inventory that goes from bottle to model without thinning is Outlaw paints. Never used them."
No.
I haven't used them yet.
I've never tried them, to be honest.
I've got 2. Haven't used them yet.
Yet. Ooh, B3.
So I got them with the Jägermeister Porsche, didn't I?
Oh, crap. Okay.
Looking forward to trying them though. Because I had a look and they've got some really, really nice colours.
Yeah.
Like different like leather effects and stuff as well.
I want to get some of them cool shift paints that you've got. They look awesome. Yeah.
I think I paid £17. You get 6 of them in a packet. You can buy them separately, but I think there's about 5 or 6 different sets with different colours in.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm gonna get some because I wouldn't mind doing one of those 124th Model Ts I've got in it.
Yeah.
I think that'd look cool.
I think it just depends on what kind of
Do
colour.
like pimp yeah. Do like pimp my Model T sort of thing.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Bob says, "Well, they were cheap. Not a great loss if I couldn't do things with them. Of course, plan blown out the water when 2 I tried worked first time, and they're still going after 8 years." Oh, well, there you go. See, you don't always need expensive gear.
No.
In fact, if you're just trying stuff out, then you're better off with the cheaper stuff. There you go. Now we can see. I really don't like this chromed plastic.
Yeah.
I'd rather just
Why?
spray
Because
me
it makes it hard
from
to glue. Is that why you don't like it?
Yeah, if to glue it, you got to scrape it off
Ah.
Yeah.
and bring it back to the plastic. And it also means that when you cut it off the sprue, you get these little bits where there's no chrome. So you've got to repaint it anyway. See, you get the little squares and stuff where the sprue's been.
Sure.
A little white bit there. And they always put it right on the outside where it's going to be easily seen.
Yeah.
Because they're bloody geniuses like that. There you go.
So I've decided to work on the air brake
GM
rather than the
says-
undercarriage.
Ooh.
That's all. That's all I got to say.
Oh, cool. All right then. And that's all I got to say about that.
I was about to do the same
Bubba
thing,
gum.
but I thought it'd be a bit predictable.
Yeah, well, I'm nothing if not predictable. GM says, I have 4 airbrushes. Have only used one, though. A Badger 200. Easy to use and clean. There we go. Where do they get the names for these bloody things? Badger. I suppose Badger brush when they're shaving.
I don't know. Might be the guy who owns the company. I don't know.
Still got to respray the bloody exhaust system. Neither do I. I'll put that there. Oh, crap.
Ooh.
Apparently, Badger is an American company. There we go.
Fair enough.
Bob says, dip a Badger's tail in paint and watch it spray it all over the place. Yeah, Badgers don't like humans. Badgers are probably our most dangerous animal in the UK. That and adders.
Yeah.
Well,
Jim says, Badger is the name of the company that manufactures the airbrushes. Posh is another manufacturer. Both are based in the Midwest. There we go. Yeah. Badgers and adders are probably the most dangerous animals in the UK, outside of zoos.
adders
Some
is
private
in
collections.
snakes.
Because people are
you're saying?
crazy.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. It's our only native venomous snake.
Right.
Yeah.
We got plenty. If you'd like some sent over,
Not
I can
wild calculators.
put a care package together.
I think we're good.
Okay.
No. Oh shit. Yeah.
That's what he said when you opened the
Somebody's
package.
just accidentally released a 6.5 foot non-venomous snake. Yeah.
Wow.
Somebody's
Imagine
just
a 6.5
apparently
foot
accidentally
venomous
released
snake.
a 6.5 foot non-venomous snake into the wild.
That's
Yeah.
all right.
No.
Might be able to breed.
I'd rather not, dude. Too ugly. Yeah. They introduced the grey squirrel, didn't they? And that's almost eradicated the native red squirrel.
Oh, is
They're
that a
evil
fact?
little bastards and all.
Oh, the grey squirrels from Europe. Is it?
Yeah. I think so, yeah. We only had red squirrels. And over the last 100 years, it's almost eradicated them. Because it's evil. It's an evil little pothead. Grey squirrel. You can tell the potheads because they always look like they're rolling roaches. Whenever you look at them, they look like they're rolling a spliff. Tim says, if you want to laugh, look at why Lululemon was named that by the founder. Okay. Not going to do it whilst we're live, just in case.
No, I've just done it. So what it says is Lululemon. It's a brand founded in 1998. That mob, deliberately chosen by the founder Chip Wilson to sound Western and exotic to Japanese consumers who believed that multiple L's sounds in the name would be difficult for Japanese speakers to pronounce, which he saw as a potential marketing advantage. Wilson also stated that the name itself has no other particular meaning.
Yeah.
I like how he named it so that the Japanese couldn't
there we
pronounce
go.
it properly.
Woo woo. One of the things my dad found him using, because he had to go and work in Shanghai for a few months when I was a teenager, and he always found it amusing that they don't have the same male, female sort of names, so that they don't understand how English names are male or female. So you have this beautiful female barmaid coming up to you, or waitress coming up to you, asking you if you want something, and then she'd introduce herself as Dave or Gary, and it always amused him.
So there's a brand of bras in Australia called Hestia. Now Hestia is an ancient Greek name, the Greek word Hestia meaning hearth or fireplace. But the reason they called the brand Hestia for bras in Australia is the founder got a giggle at the fact that it's an acronym for holds every size tit in Australia.
Okay.
Tim says, yeah, he laughs about it, says Ruru Remen. GM says, them grey squirrels are big too. Watch one jump 12 foot from a fence to a tree over my head. Yeah. Evil little creatures. David says, yes, the grey carry a virus that is deadly to the red. Greys are trapped and disposed of now, and red have returned to some areas again. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
There's actually a squirrel park not far from us. It's like a big country park thing, but it's where all the squirrels are protected, and they've just put hundreds of squirrels in there. So as you're walking around the wooded bits, there's squirrels everywhere going up the trees and things. Which is nice to see, but they've introduced the grey squirrel rather than the red squirrel, which is annoying. Stupid little pothead rodents.
Not a fan.
No.
Can you tell?
Because what bit me when I was a kid.
Oh, diddums.
I was bit on the finger by a squirrel, and it went all funny coloured.
What? The squirrel after you strangled it.
No, I think I was only about 7. My finger went, the end of my finger went like a greeny yellowy colour.
So that's an infection.
Yes. I punched it though. It bit me, so I backhanded it. I was trying to feed it and it bit my finger. So as it bit my finger, I went out, and then without thinking, I just backhanded it across the head. It's not flying.
Yeah. What a nice guy.
I am. I'm lovely. Honest.
Just hate squirrels.
No thanks, John. It's bad enough with all these harmless creatures. I don't have an irrational hatred of squirrels. I have an irrational hatred of grey squirrels. And it's not irrational if you've been bitten by one. Ian says, no thanks, John. It's bad enough with all these harmless creatures we have. Irrational fear is a thing here. We don't need an actual deadly animal.
Well, we got plenty to spare. Don't get me wrong. Consider it a service.
Bob says tree rats.
Yeah.
Paul Tank is in. He says, good day, folks. Hello, Paul.
Welcome back, Paul.
Yeah, that's what they are, tree rats. We have tree rats and feathered rats, which are pigeons. GM says, Mikey, that might explain a few things. Yes, most likely. A really my hatred of small furry creatures. That's not true. I don't hate them. I just think they should all be eradicated. Do some sprue tiny.
Yeah, I
I
remember
need to
when
do
I
some research. I'm not sure.
quite
This
like-
is the thing that spreads the air brake. I'm not sure if these. So I've got these panels here to put on the plastic there, but I need to look at some photos to see if they're drilled through. But you know, I've obviously not done an air brake before,
Yes.
Victor, because you know the FX kit didn't have one. Sorry, the Matchbox kit didn't have one.
You.
No, sir.
Boing. Yeah. I find it quite satisfying as you go through a build, just cutting off all the sections of sprue that don't have any parts left on them.
Yeah.
I find it quite satisfying seeing the sprues shrinking and shrieking as you go through.
Yeah. That
And it
works.
means there's less to get tangled in the box.
Yeah. I remember in school, our substitute English teacher used to be able to get out of lesson, not do any work if you asked her how the tree rats were.
Was she attacked by a great
No, they kept stealing all the bird food and that she'd put out. She'd go on an hour-long tirade.
Yeah.
About the tree rats. And it was funny as hell. Easiest way to get out of doing English.
We used to do a similar thing with our chemistry teacher.
Yeah.
When we were doing engineering sciences in sixth form, we had a teacher called Mrs. Cleary. She was from Northern Ireland, but she grew up during the Troubles. So if we asked her about what life was like when she was younger, she used to tell us, just spend the whole lesson telling us about Northern Ireland when she was younger. And one of the ones that she loved telling everyone was outside the village where she lived. They found a big IRA opium plant farm. And the army, rather than just cutting it down and binning it, they decided to burn the whole field down.
Well, that was.
So she said the whole village was high as a kite for over a week. Yeah.
To be sure,
Because because the plantation was literally just outside the village. Ooh. Timmy says, maker of models, supporter of veterans, bane of squirrels. I like it.
Yeah, so yeah, they do have perforations, well, holes in them. So you can see a bit of light shining through the one on the starboard side there. So I'll go ahead and drill mine out. Cool.
My bloody StreamYard just crashed.
Ooh.
I've had to go back. It logged me out and came back in. Tim says, make models, supporter of veterans, bane of squirrels. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Ian says, pheasants are quite dangerous. Yes, but they are delicious. If they just stayed where they were, they are, as you pass on a motorbike, they tend to move at the last second in the direction of danger. Yeah, they're also very stupid.
Well, try a bloody wallaby.
Yeah, but wallabies aren't delicious.
Yeah, they are. They're awesome. Yeah. We're eating fresh animals.
Does it make you
know,
have square poos?
No, that's wombat. No, they're a little bit gamey, They're, a little bit harder to mung on.
Yeah. Kangaroo's nice.
Can be. Depends how you cook it.
Yeah. Well, last time I had it was kangaroo burgers. They were good. Aussie Ian's in. He says, "Good evening, bikies." Hello, Aussie Ian.
Hello, Ian. Sorry, I missed the so here's the thing. On Sunday it was our local club's meeting, as we do. We meet once it's a Newcastle Hunter Scale Modelling Society, not IPMS. Anyway, I had a meeting and I missed it again. I think it's the third one in a row that I've missed because I've been either interstate or out with my wife or whatever. So did the family thing yesterday. Sunday. Missed the meeting. And then I checked messages a couple of hours later and said, would you like to put your name forward to be president? Because the president asked me a couple of meetings ago, would you mind taking over as president if would you fight it? And I sort of said, no, I'll do whatever I can to help. Yeah, I missed the AGM, so I'm not president. At least I don't think I am. Apologies, Ian. I didn't turn up again. But I saw my daughter from Townsville, so that was worthwhile.
There we go. Kevin says, "We'll be leaving for X-ray appointments soon. Have a great day. See you Thursday." See you Thursday, Kevin. Thanks for coming in by, mate.
Yeah.
Don't forget to lube up the like button. Paul Tanker says, "Mikey, I have the same flag you have behind me in my den." Ooh, the Welsh flag. Good on you, mate. Represent. Yeah, it's a beautiful flag, the Welsh flag. It's the only one in the world with a dragon on it. The only national flag with a dragon on it, anyway. I think it was only made the official flag, I think, in the 50s or 60s. It's not a very old flag. Jim says, "John, get on with it." I love that that's the thing.
I hate it.
Tim says, "John's Roadkill Cafe. Pop in for a smidgen of pigeon."
I like that.
That's good. John, can I make some merch with that on?
Do it.
Ian says, "You remind me of the episode of QI where they discovered an island of rare tortoises. Turned out they were delicious and made them extinct at the same time."
That's right.
Aussie Ian says, "I think your text reply came in not long after Robbo decided to continue on."
Oh, God. Yeah, I should have checked messages. I feel terrible about
that. Bob says, "Upset a veggie a while back. Got stroppy because I was buying meat. Told her at least it was dead. She was eating living leaves." Well, they've actually found, scientists now, they actually believe that fungi, they actually have a lot of connections that allow them to sort of think and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is actually pretty interesting. Which explains why when you cut plants, they release that pheromone thing. They release the chemical it's like a distress signal.
It's what you smell when you cut grass.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I love the smell of freshly cut grass.
I don't, because I have hay fever.
I have hay fever, but I still love the smell of freshly cut grass.
So I shouldn't be laughing.
Paul says, "My son was in Townsville in the army." Ooh, did he have his SLR in greens?
God help me.
I was only 19. I like that we know these songs enough to do that. It's fun. It's a bloody good song, though.
Oh, it is.
Jim says, "My apologies, Mr. Marley. That was English, Jim. English. That quite a succinct and brief explanation. Well done, mate." I'm only joking. I know exactly what you mean.
I'll try harder next
I
time.
think he missed out the word "was."
Yeah.
Could have been.
Yeah. That could have been a succinct explanation, but it came from John.
Right.
Yeah. I'm only joking, Jim. Don't worry. I'm not one of these people that like pulls people up for grammar and things. Bob says, "Fresh mown grass scent. Magic." Paul says he was in the artillery, did 8 years. Wow. Long range snipers. Lovely. David was a long range sniper.
Did you have trouble getting in or crawling into the artillery? It's a long time to be hiding in there.
Yeah. 8 years of hide and seek.
Yeah. I think should give him a medal for that. All right.
I really need to mute that bloody group chat.
Paul's putting a face where he's looking through his fingers. Bob says, "Years with time off for good behavior." That's marriage, isn't it? Oh, no, sorry. Tim says, "I think I knew hide and seek." Bob says, shifted the 8.
Hide and seek. It's funny.
Where am I clear path? Yeah. It's just falling on the bloody floor.
Back in a moment. I have to get
Damn carpet monster.
painkiller or something.
Good. Clear yellow. Clear orange.
David says, "Yes, for me, long range sniper, anti tank, and cloud puncher in my service." Nice. They've got Archer system now, which is cool. It's like artillery. It's basically a giant artillery gun mounted on the back of a truck that can be controlled from a laptop in the cab.
Yeah.
And it's all automatic, and they can literally set it to fire 3 rounds, one after the other, and as it fires it, it lowers the gun elevation so that they all land at exactly the same point at exactly the same time.
Nice.
That is really cool. And it can fire for like 20 miles away. It's insane. I think it's more than that, actually. I think it's more like 30-something miles away. Bob says, "My dad was always checking to see if his marriage license had expired." I'll ask John that in a minute when he comes back. Right. So now we're on to data bits. Right. Pardon me. That's if John's coming back. You might have had enough of us. I've had enough of this insanity. I'm leaving.
John's the one that brings the insanity.
Well, that's true. I just bring the slightly weirdness.
I'm not arguing with that.
You cheeky sod. Ooh, okay. So which way up does that go? Oh, goody.
Oh, sorry, I'm back. John, am I going to the swap and sell on Saturday? Yes, I am. So anyone who's hanging about Newcastle Hunter area in Australia, yes, our club has a swap and sell, and there will be bargains galore.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
And Jim's laughing at Bob. Bob, 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 Bob. I don't know whether to spray this because yet again they put the sprue gate right where you're going to bloody see it. Instead of putting one at the bottom or something, they put it on both sides. So you got one at the top and the bottom. A little white square.
Hmm.
That's so bloody annoying. GM says, years ago, someone came up with the idea to test fire a 105-pound howitzer out the back of a 36 Squadron C-130. I was asked to film it. First and last time I did that, very nearly blasted the tail off. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I remember listening to bloody AS-90s firing in Iraq. That was interesting. Or, as we used to say, the AS-nasties.
The ass nasties.
Yes.
I think that's something completely different.
Well, but at the time they're having a problem with because what the insurgents were doing was they were going to the flats they figured out that if they go to the blocks of flats at the outside of the city, nearest to the camp, they could just put the Chinese rockets, which are like 13, 14-foot rockets, on a piece of angle iron and just lean it up, prop it up against the window and set it off like that. And set it off out the window of the flats so that it landed in the camp. So what they started doing to combat this was, because the only way they could do it under the law of armed conflict was to send special forces in or whatever, or infantry in when they detect it on drones and go and clear out the building. So what they ended up doing was evacuating the buildings and then saying, if you re-enter, we're going to consider you an insurgent and we're just going to flatten the building.
God.
So whenever they detected someone setting off rockets from the flats, they started firing the AS-90s at the flats. So I got a video somewhere, or used to have a video somewhere, where I was working underneath a Land Rover, and you can hear the AS-90s going off in the background.
Right.
I think I was taking a prop shaft off the Land Rover or something. Jim says, location of sprue gates is an engineering thing. Some model makers plan them right, most don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pain. David said, yes, they have Sky Sabre now for anti-aircraft roll. It was Rapier for me and tracked version for me. Did do a scratch build of it on the M548 vehicle. Nice. I've got a Bloodhound kit that a viewer sent me. Airfix Bloodhound kit.
Ah.
Bob says, I did manage to peel some of the fake chrome from the sprue ones and super glue it over the blank bits. So doable, but requires extra large swear jar. Well, that's not a bad idea. Challenge accepted. Because they only need a little bit. Well done, Bob. You are not a sideshow. Never thought of doing that. Be easier if I get it from a flat piece. GM says the army wanted to airdrop a 4x4 truck by parachute. All was good until the main chutes didn't open. Never seen a whole truck bent to a 45 degrees to one side. Sounds like fun. Bob says, I do have bright ideas sometimes. Most people would prefer me to keep myself to myself, though. No. Don't do that. Sharing. It's all part of the fun, mate.
Now, Mikey, you know how my nickname in the Air Force was Bob, as in
Yes.
Bob Marley? Well, my best friend bought me this hat. If at first you don't succeed, try doing what Bob told you to do the first time. Isn't that
That's good.
bloody brilliant?
Do you want another funny thing? My mum bought her ex-boyfriend the exact same hat. And his name was Robert.
Ooh. Where was Tim? Tim. Where am I?
Timmy.
There you go. Tim, Modders, can you write that down? John's Roadkill Cafe, pop in for a smidgen of pigeon in your notebook, please.
Yes.
No, I'll type it now. I'll put it on the group chat. How's that?
Awesome. That's even better. Thank you.
Still want to get me notebook. Give me 2 minutes.
Yes, people. Modders has a moderator's notebook where she can make notes of links and things. No, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this.
Yes, my notebook is awesome. It's Beetlejuice. Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think it's going to work. Oh, I don't know. It does disguise it a little bit. Yeah. Stupid bloody companies. Yeah, I think that's cool.
All right, half an hour left. Time flies when you're doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Time to get some perforated baits down, I think.
Sounds like someone's doing the flying lessons.
Mm.
We've got a small, what's the word? Runway in one of the villages over. One of the farmers let out is let out his field.
Yeah.
To be a small private runway.
Yeah.
Fair on him. Gives him a bit of money, doesn't it? And his farm.
Yeah, why not? We've got Harden Airfield up the coast from us.
Mm.
GM says, same thing, but with a long barrel howitzer. Took the army 2 days to dig it out of the ground. It was not straight. Yeah. David says, we'll put some pics up of the tracked rapier model in Discord later. Awesome. And John Marley has put it in the chat. Yay. And now Gary Morris is going to look at it and go, what the hell are you talking about?
What the hell is that?
Yeah. John's Roadkill Cafe. You lost your mind.
I have still written it down just in case.
Good. Thank you, Modders.
You're welcome.
And thank you, John. Paul says, just put another penny in the gas meter. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to respray this. What I might do is put blue tack in the middle so I don't get paint in the actual reflector. And then spray the outside of it. Just a gash.
Oh, I succeeded in getting the rotors in the transport position on the Avro 671 last night, so it's now complete.
Nice.
In fact, I'll lean behind me and grab it now and show y'all. There we go. Right. I'll probably drop it or something right now. Okay. So yeah. So this is the Mini Art 1/35th scale Sierra C30 as a Avro 671. So blah blah blah. And as I say, the rotors, they're quite delicate. They only just sit there, but you know, it's got clearance of the center one, and the outside two either sit on the outside tabs or hang down. But I reckon it won't take long before these break off. They're very, very thin. To hold it up top there, but that's it. That is, well, I need to respray the bit of glue that I touched up when I put the rotor head on it again yesterday. But apart from that, is 100% complete. Huzzah.
Excellent. Huzzah, as Jim would say.
Bizarre.
Bizarre or huzzah. Duke is in.
It's late.
G'day, Duke.
Good day, all you beautiful people. Hello, Dukey.
You really doesn't go to spec service.
What? Why? Who needs to go to Specsavers?
Duke.
Oh. I don't know if they have Specsavers in Australia.
Yeah, we do. They're everywhere, like almost every shopping centre. Yeah, they're as prolific here as they are in the UK.
Oh, they're not that prolific here. They're sort of like the expensive ones in the UK.
Oh, they're the cheap ones where we are. OPSM are the expensive ones.
Well, we are.
Who I used to work for? Like, my first job was an ophthalmologist. Last 3 months, and then they got rid of me. But I worked for OPSM, or Optical Prescription Spectacle Makers. Yeah.
Go for it. Painting says, hello. Hello to you.
Hello.
Hello. Jim says, hurrah in huzzah in Australian. Jim says, hey there, go for it. Bob says, nope, not onomatopoeic. Can't recall correct description. Onomatopoeia, isn't that where you're pulling your own hair all the time?
No.
Where is it?
Onomatopoeia is
like a.
It's something that sounds a word that sounds like the noise that it makes, like cock-a-doodle-doo,
Kapow and bang.
Yeah, just meow, neigh.
Yeah. Have you ever noticed words for speech impediments are usually words that the people with that impediment can't say?
It's like the way dyslexic spelled.
When you think about it, right? How cruel is it to put one S and 3 T's in the word stutter? The 2 letters that they struggle with most. Ooh. Hang on a second. There you go. All right, that's down there. I'll catch up with chat. Paul says, I have been painting a 172nd ACW soldiers over the last few years. Have around 250. Wow.
ACW.
That's a lot. GM says, sea air rescuers flying C-130s at times could be fun. A stupid yacht owner aground 30 meters from the Stockton beach screaming for help. He copped all our smoke flares till he made a swim for it. David says, that's looking good there, John.
Oh, thank you.
Bob says, exactly, John. Stop agreeing with John. You'll give him a big head.
I've already got a big head.
Tim says, got to put some feeling and power into your voice, Mikey, like a parade ground drill sound. Oh, I can shout. Don't worry. Ian says, on a matter I appear. Oh, on a matter I appear. I got you. There we go. Duke says, in fact, going back to what Jim said, that was one of the reasons I put off starting a YouTube channel for so long, because I was always worried that my voice would be too boring and monotonal. Because I think I'm putting loads of effort into making my voice modulate and putting emotion into my voice and things. But when I listen to it back, it always just seems flat.
Can you repeat that? I just dozed off for a while there.
Twat. But it's like that one where I lost my temper with that guy that was making comments about my wife that he shouldn't have been.
Yes.
I thought I was properly angry and raging at him, and I even apologized for it. But when I listened to it back, I was like, I don't even sound like I've noticed. Yeah. It's something I do struggle with. Conveying emotion. Duke says, I'm up to the tracks on my A7V, or is it AV7? Anyway, the World War I German tank, they're going to take hours to put together. Yes, the A7V. I've got that kit, the Meng one I've got. I'm looking forward to making that.
Oh, you should have seen the box. Sorry, the bag.
GM says,
that the Duke had, all the kits that he bought at the model expo. I was shocked and stunned.
They pay well, considering he watches people sleep all the time. It must be a fetish thing. They pay him to do it. GM says, them big words, Bobby. Go for it says, hi, Jim, and hi, Ian. Oh, dear God. Tim says, the fear of long words is called that. Hippopotamonstrophobia. Or
sesquipedalophobia.
Yeah. I had one, and the wheels fell off.
And fear of the number 13 is triskaidekaphobia.
Yeah. Go for it says, hi all. Hello, go for it. It says, hi, go for it. And Paul's fallen asleep. Thanks, Paul. Bob says, and who decided dyslexia was a good word for people who have difficulty with letters? We'll stick an X and a Y in the middle. That'll confuse them. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the few words that uses an X. Jim says, I didn't mean in terms of normal conversation or reading out of comments, Mikey. Just relating to the words huzzah or hurrah. Ah. Yeah, but then I'll be too loud because I'm too close to the microphone and I'll deafen people. Oh, that idiot's back again.
Who that Mikey idiot's back again?
Yeah. Idiot that rides a trials bike up and down the bloody main road and everything with no helmet on. Because he thinks that a balaclava is going to protect his head. Because he's a moron. Duke says, if I ever catch one of my lads doing it, they'd be getting a bloody clipper on the ear. Duke says, the Meng one was a great interior Mikey, or has a great interior Mikey. Night Shift did a great one on YouTube. Yeah, he did. That's one of the reasons why I bought it. And because I love World War I history.
Stunning looking kit as well.
I've got to a stage now where the models that I've been working on for myself, every model is at a stage where it needs painting. I can't be asked.
Not with that.
Well, I don't want to start any more models. Jim said, Mikey, you have a very pleasant speaking voice. You'd make a good PA and answer. Why, thank you. Or as John would say, clean up an L3.
Yeah.
Because he loves it that
much. Yeah.
Or was it clean up in John's Roadkill Cafe? Jim says, is there a long word for fear of painting? Probably. Paul says, we have those tossers over here. No helmet, no brains. Well, they won't have if they bloody come off the damn thing, will they? Yeah. Idiots.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Double checking that I haven't put it on backwards. So far, so good.
So he thought.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? Those too far apart, that's why. Gosh darn
So
it.
how much longer do you two believe you've got for your bike builds?
I don't know.
Not that long. Oh, shit. I've nearly finished the headstock now, so.
Oh, shit. Just a little bit longer now.
I'm
Not that long left on it, don't.
The backrest and putting the tank and that on.
Yeah. I just got to finish the headstock and then put the finish putting the cables in the right places.
Yeah, I've still got
do some touch-ups on the paint, and that's it.
I've still got the front wheel to do, and the headlights, and the seats.
Yeah.
But
Thinking about it, I think the headlights might be easier to do if I take the indicators off, put the clamp on like that, just like that. Thank you.
Yeah, that'll give you some indication.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Ooh. Ooh. Ha ha ha. Dunch.
Dunch.
Julie says, with regards to what idiot renamed that word, a medical condition often created difficulties in speech. Something harder to say, cerebral palsy. I know. Why is it renamed? I don't agree with it either. Well, it's two different things. Because spasticity is to do with muscle twitching. Because multiple sclerosis has spasticity to it. Because it's the muscles tense up.
yeah.
And cramp up and things. And it's the only medical condition in Wales where you can get cannabis supplements on prescription, cannabis spray on prescription. And Wales is the only part of the UK where you can get that for that condition. The rest of the UK, it's still illegal. Paul says, I have not painted any soldiers for over a year. Had a stroke, so you have problems holding on to them. Yeah. Yeah. All that vigorous shaking makes it very difficult to hold on to the soldiers. Jim says, Jim, I agree with you. I can't hear any Welsh accents. Regarding sound levels, watching your voice levels on my sound desk, you're all normal. Mr. Morris at times goes off the scales. Oh.
Okay.
Well, there's a reason why I don't have a Welsh accent. Yeah. There is a good reason why I don't have a Welsh accent.
It's because you're not Welsh?
It's because not everyone sounds like well, no, it's because not everyone sounds like they're from the valleys.
Well, you sound more Welsh than I do. That's for sure.
Stereotypical Welsh accent. Yeah. Well, the stereotypical Welsh accents it's because of programs like Gavin and Stacey and things. So people think all Welsh people sound like that. They don't.
I did enjoy that show.
I had a stammer when I was younger, so I taught myself.
I think you'll find it's
I struggled with speech when I was younger. Don't get me started on him. But yeah.
Oh, Mike, you're always getting political. Oh.
Oh, yeah, because it was me, wasn't it? Yeah. Just blame me, why don't you? But yeah. And also, my parents are from Merseyside. Both my parents and my grandparents are all from St. Helens. So I've got a little bit of Lancashire in mine as well. Because most of my family is from St. Helens, I really don't like some of the way they pronounce words. So I've made a point of making sure I don't speak with a strong accent.
Wow.
Well, I tried to anyway. But it also means I can do daft voices more.
I've tried very hard to speak with an accent. I just simply do not have one.
It's what you think.
Jim says the late Richard Burton was a Welshman. There's a lot of actors and things that were Welsh or that are Welsh. Catherine Zeta-Jones is Welsh.
Gary's just asked, another kill, mate. He must have read the message about the Roadkill Cafe.
Yeah, it's Timmy's idea.
Jim says the late Richard Burton was in. Oh, there you go. He says Tom Jones sounds like a Welshman when he speaks. Yes, that's because he's from South Wales. He speaks with a South Wales accent.
Well, it's not unusual.
You come to North Wales, a lot of people do not sound like that. They don't sound like they're in a great amount of pain. Bob says, Jim, fear of paint is pigmentophobia. Fear of paintings is sportodyslexic cartophobia. Huh?
Oh.
There we go. The more you know. Bob says, ooh, more long words.
Always learning.
Says, thank you, Robert. Yeah. Bob says, can't find fear of painting, though. There we go. Van Goghophobia. Here's a question. Why do the Americans call Van Gogh Van Gogh? I've never understood that.
Well,
His name's not even spelled Van Gogh.
But just it's called.
I mean, the clue is there's more
accents.
letters after the go bit.
Yeah, but it's like saying Notre Dame and Notre Dame. It's a thing.
Yeah, but it's not, because both of those are spelled the same way. But
yeah,
Goch is Goch, so it's go with a CH at the end. It's not just go, is it? Maybe Jim could answer that. Jim's American. Jim, why do Americans pronounce Van Gogh as Van Gogh? Van Gogh. There, apparently I can't even pronounce English words right now, let alone Dutch.
Let alone Dutch.
David says, David had that after finishing in the army, was told I sounded as if I had a Lancashire accent, and after coming home 23 years in the Lancashire Gunners. Yeah. My granddad's got quite a broad Lancashire accent. Jim says, because we pronounce different words different ways. Embrace the differences, Mikey. Oh, I don't know. Maybe. It says, fear of painting is colourful procrastination. Swear words. There we go.
Yeah.
How am I going to do this? They're not really easy, do they?
Nope.
What's better than Julian's Googling it? No.
Oh.
Why do Americans pronounce words differently? Hang on. Oh, yeah, it goes flat. It's okay. Yeah, well. There you go. Bob says, fear of pants is pantophobia. That is fear. That is fear of everything, which includes pants. and heavy breathing animals, apparently. Paul says, my wife and I still argue over the way we say different words. She's from Essex and I'm from Lancashire. Essex pronounce things very differently.
Yes.
Bob says, I'm sorry, I'll stop taking the tablets. No, don't stop taking the tablets. It makes it more
Don't.
fun.
Not that
Please
you're
don't
not-
ever stop taking the tablets without medical advice. We do not want to be responsible for you going off the rails or something. Yikes. Stick, you son of a gun. Julie says, no, Julian is busy fighting the effing airbrush. That's funny. Oh, it goes like that. Okay. Well, that makes more sense. God damn it. I've just stripped the paint off the top for no reason. Okay. Gary says, Mum grew up in Leicestershire, never had a local accent. Dad, on returning from his village, had a pronounced accent. His village was 8 miles from Mum's town. Yeah. Where I live, if you go down to the next town, they sound completely different to what we do. You can tell which town in the area people are from by their accents. And they're only 5 miles away.
So weird to me.
What, with your non-accent?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not so much accents that are different in Australia. It's just words people use to describe something. So
Dialect.
Oh yeah, school bag is like a port in Queensland, that sort of stuff. And I think it's, you know, what do they call them? The little mini Frankfurts. I think they're called Tim Howard would know. I think they're called
cocktail sausages.
Yeah, them. I think they're called like, you know, little boys or something in Queensland, and just different names for things. Anywho, so we're about to finish up. So I'll just show you what I've managed to achieve in the 2 hours. Not much. So
just get through these comments first.
Okay.
We'll do it. I didn't even have to say it then. I didn't even have to say, John, shut the fuck up. How good is that?
I knew you were thinking it.
Good boy. Good boy. If I could, I'd rub your ears and pat your head.
Yeah, stop talking. Get on the comments.
Story. A former co-worker was sure that hydrophobia was a fear of heights. I kid you not. I couldn't believe it when he said, left me speechless. Very good. I can see where he's coming from, but yeah. Timmy says both go and goth are just anglicised. Australians do the same thing. We don't get exposed to Dutch, so the Dutch G isn't a thing. Yeah. See, the Dutch G is pronounced the same as the Welsh letter CH, which is CH. Because CH in Welsh is a single letter. June says, by the way, Mikey, to my ear, you do have a Welsh accent, a North Walian accent. Perhaps it's because I am Welsh. I can tell the difference. Yeah, that's what it'll be. Those foreigners can't tell. They're not cultured enough. Only joking, obviously. June says, my auntie came to visit Oz about 30 years ago, and my mum told her not to say that she had been rooting through her drawers. It's something completely different here.
Yeah.
June says, reference Van Gogh. In English, the GH sound is F. In Dutch, the GH sound is like the Welsh CH. Yeah, that's what I just said. Great minds think alike, Julian.
Okay, so what's a Welsh CH? Is that...
Sorry, John. Now you may continue. Show us what you have achieved. I won't interrupt at all.
But, okay, so what's a Welsh CH? Is it... So do the Dutch say Van Gogh? I don't know.
Yes, they do.
Right. Okay. So air brake. It goes at the very back of the the plane. So this is the upgrade kit. So it's got all of the brass and everything else. So I've perforated the air brake, I guess, actuator petals, and they're laminated on both sides and upper and lower as well. The top one, I had to cut some bits off. The top one has it's a support. The next step is making that dingus there that goes on the actuator, and then lining the air brake doors with 3 bits on each side. So that's coming along, and then that'll just be put aside like all the other bits that I'm doing. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome, buddy.
And succinct.
What about you, Modders?
Okay.
Yeah, which makes a nice change.
I've managed to get the fuel tank on and started on the back seat.
Shiny.
Shiny.
And the indicators on the back are on. And
Nice.
I have the kickstand and some of the little bits of the engine on this side, which I need to now.
That model's looking nicer than mine. I might have to unfriend you if you keep doing this. Very good, Modders. Well done.
Yeah. I'm really
Mine,
happy with it.
I've been chatting crap and putting the headstock together. So I put lights and stuff on. Yeah. So it stands up. Yay. Go me. Right. Let's change that over. There we go. Paul says, okay, guys, see you later. All the best. See you later, buddy. Jim says, can tell where Tiff is from. A friend of mine speaks with the same accent. There we go. You can tell where I'm from. I've got a big sign that, behind me.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of.
June says, there are 3 types of people. Teddies.
Yeah, I need rid of them. They need
John's
to get
from
gone.
Afghanistan.
Oh,
I forgot his background. June says there are 3 types of people: the Welsh, those who wish to be Welsh, and those with no ambition. I'm kidding. Please don't kill me. Ian says, Paul, cool, another Lancastrian. Yeah. June says that model is looking fabulous too. Absolutely
Thank
fabulous, darling.
Fab.
You're welcome. Duke says that's an awesome purple tip.
Thank you. It
He
is
likes purple things, does Duke?
the Vallejo Royal Purple with gunmetal mixed in.
Ooh.
Yeah, make it a bit shiny.
David says that's really good there, Tiff.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it looks like we might actually finish on time for once. Woohoo.
What?
Okay, so me, yeah, pretty much. So we are back on Thursday with the big boy locomotive. There'll be me and John and Gary, if he's not dancing around the woods in his mankini. Models will be in the background, keeping us all in check.
Trying to.
So yeah, join us Thursday. Have fun. Hulvar for now. I like that. Hulvar for now. I like it.
Hero.
Right. Later, everyone.